right. Hello, everyone. This is Coach John and Coach Roisin from the Achieve Running Club. This is our first podcast, and we're putting this out there as a YouTube video. And what we wanted to do today is introduce you to the Achieve Running Club, what we're shooting for here in starting this up, and what our goals are for the future. Um, tell you a little bit about ourselves. I've been coaching for a little over 10 years now in the running world. I've coached from pure beginners on a Coach to 5K program, uh, hundreds and hundreds of beginners, as well as more high performing marathon runners and shorter distance, real people looking to make huge improvements, and even those that have been running for years looking to shave seconds off of their times. I've worked with so many people over the years, and I'm looking to bring my passion for the sport of running, much like Roisin. Uh, my wife and I, we started running back in 2010 as a weight loss journey, and it has been just taken over our lives as far as uh, health and well-being, and has made such huge improvements in our lives and the quality of our lives mentally and physically. So that's a little bit about myself, Roisin.
Yeah, so as John was saying, that we started running in our 40s, having had no running experience before that, and we just kind of caught the bug, and we have been running since. And it has made such an amazing difference to our lives in so many ways that that's something we just want to pass on to everybody. That it's not just about the running, it's what else running can bring into your life. The benefits are huge. The social benefits, the mental benefits, the physical benefits. There's so much to it that we're so passionate about spreading that to everybody out there. I became a sports massage therapist along the way because I saw the benefit of that as well, and that I bring that to the club and done a little bit of coaching over the time as well. So I absolutely love seeing new runners coming on board, catching the bug and taking it to wherever they want to take it, to marathons, just running for fun or whatever it is. I just love to see that spark once they get going.
Yeah, and just from a little bit about ourselves in the running world. Uh, so at the age of, I'm 57, going on 58 now. I've been running my best times over these last 3 years. In the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to run sub 3 in 3 marathons, going as low as 2:54 in Manchester, 2024. Yeah, Manchester 2024, 2:54. So for me, it was all about putting everything together, and that's running training, nutrition, keeping a really close eye on my weight, keeping a close eye on my macros, keeping a real good track, and focusing on sleep, as well as strength and conditioning. And you know what? One part of running that we tend to forget is mindset. And having a positive mindset and self belief goes a real long way. And
Yeah.
that has taken me a long time to come to terms with, but it has paid huge dividends, and I continue to train hard, and I hope to for many years to come. So, and how about you, Roisin?
Yeah, like you were saying about the mental benefits, like it's not just the physical part of running, but you need to have a strong mental capacity to push on, to do the runs, to do the hard things. And running helps you develop that mental toughness, which it spills over into your everyday life, which is so beneficial for all of us. And these times now, lives can be pretty stressful. So having that, what would you call it? Having that strength
Yeah,
to push through tough,
yeah, the grit,
the
the
grit,
the
yeah, that, it's hard to believe that running can bring that into your life, but it certainly can. It has done that for us in
mm.
many ways.
Yeah. So the Achieve Running Club. we are bringing these aspects of the success of our own training, and we're hoping that you will find that success through these training techniques and focusing on these other aspects of life that really make those uh, improvements possible.
Yeah, so when you put everything into the picture, when you add in your nutrition, when you add in your strength training, when you add in, you know, your mindset into your running program, into your running training, it's amazing what you will achieve. So, it's just you need that full all round approach. Your running is going to benefit from you eating well. Your running is going to benefit from you strengthening those muscles to keep you going and to avoid injury. Your running is going to benefit from proper hydration, from proper rest and recovery. So bringing it all into one big picture gives you an overall view of where you need to make improvements, where things are going well, where things aren't going well. So seeing it all in one view is so beneficial.
Yeah, and that's where the Achieve Running Club ARC Index comes in. So when you are a member of the Achieve Running Club, you pick a plan to work towards. I like to consider this sort of like Runner, only a lot more thorough and comprehensive than what Runner offers. So when you pick a plan, there are set days for key sessions, rest days, recovery days, and those rest and recovery days are every bit as important as those running days. The rest and recovery is where the magic happens. The only good training is the training you recover from. And so each day you get an ARC index, which gives you a score for the day, and it takes into account whatever it is that you're tracking. So as a basic member, a free member, you can track your running, your strength and conditioning, and mindset. And you get a score for each one of those every day, and that adds up to your ARC index for the day. And then if you're a super achiever, which is the paid version, which I say paid, it's still a very, very small amount. You'd be spending more in coffee during the course of a week than you would in a month of Achieve Running Club. But as a super achiever, you can also track your weight loss journey. You can track nutrition on a daily basis, your sleep on a daily basis, in addition to the other things that the basic achievers have.
So what it brings is accountability, all round accountability on your running, your nutrition, your sleep, your recovery, everything. So it's all there in front of you.
Exactly.
Your
Yeah.
weight, how much protein did you eat that week? Did you see that? Are you kind of starting to get a few niggles? Are you eating enough protein? Are you giving your body enough for recovery? You can look back and say, well, need to up the protein a little bit because my muscles need that to recover. So maybe that's where this niggle is coming from. So it's a great story to have to look back on and see how your training is going, where you can make improvements.
That word that Roisin just said there, accountability. You're really accountable to yourself when you see that ARC index score, and it is either way high or dropping real low. It's clear where you need to do better, right? And that's important for all of us. And then you also get a clear ARC index for the entirety of your plan. And your plan will include not only your running sessions, clearly defined, but you will also see strength, mobility, and yoga stretching sessions within the plan, all targeted to whatever your specific goal is. So there's a lot to be had here, and most importantly, we're looking to spread our passion for the sport of running. So if you're just starting out, the Achieve Running Club is for you. If you are a Hyrox athlete and you want to just squeeze a few minutes off of your Hyrox time by improving your running, we have a program for you. If you are an elite athlete who's been trying to break that 3 hour barrier or 2:45 in the marathon, we've got a plan for you. It's and this isn't just coming from an AI kind of environment. These are plans that we've put together specifically and are tried and tested, and we've used these with athletes who have achieved these exact things. So, there is history and there is success coming from these plans, and definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what your starting point is. So if you're a complete beginner, if you're a sub 3 marathoner and want to knock off some more minutes, or if you just it's for everybody and of any age. There's no age
Yeah,
restriction.
maybe you go to park run every week. Maybe you
Yeah,
love park run.
yeah,
Maybe time doesn't matter. Maybe you just want to go and enjoy the social aspect of running. We have the plans for you.
yeah.
Uh,
Or for maintenance,
yes, yeah.
just to stay fit. You just want to go for a run to keep your fitness, to keep the weight at a certain point, so that you're not, it's just an exercise. It's a mindfulness. It's a bit of social activity. So it doesn't have to be gunning for a sub whatever marathon, or I'm gunning for a sub whatever 5K. It can be recreational, it can be social, and the benefits there is amazing.
Absolutely. This is the first of our podcasts and videos that we're going to be putting out on a regular basis at the Achieve Running Club. And part of this is going to be questions from our existing members. And so, Roisin, if you could go through some of the questions that we've got so far.
Yeah, Ian wanted to ask, how many gels would you recommend to take during a half marathon?
Okay, this is a tricky one. This is absolutely one that I am not going to give a straight answer to. This depends on the individual, right? Depends on your uh, what you burn for calories in the course of an hour. Everybody is slightly different. I've had my metabolic rate tested. I know what I need to take, but that does not translate to everybody. And this is the kind of thing that you really need to nail down in training. If you're looking to perform well and race this half marathon to a specific goal time, then you need to practice this. For me personally, I would say I would take my first gel at about 45 minutes, and then the next gel would be about an hour and 15 minutes, and that would be it. I wouldn't need a third gel in a half marathon. But that is just me, and my personal requirements are somewhere in the range of 70 grams of carbs per hour, but our bodies store enough glycogen, enough energy for about an hour or a little bit more. Normally, as long as you have a healthy, well balanced diet, that's going to be the norm. Okay, what's the next question?
Next question, we recently put a blog up about shoe rotation. So
Yeah.
the question is, what what is your shoe rotation? How do you rotate your shoes, and what
Okay,
would you recommend personally?
good question. All right. I'm a very bad example because I will hang on to my shoes. And if I have an easy run that isn't particularly long, I will wear an old pair of shoes. And I suppose the important thing is to realize why we use a shoe rotation. So when you wear every different pair of shoes are going to have a slightly different foot strike. Okay, so there's a different wear pattern on each one. There's a different profile on each one. You will find that if you can mix it up, the more you mix it up, the less prone to injury you are from an overuse injury, okay, from a repetitive stress injury. So I may use 6 different pairs of trainers over the course of a week. That is not possible for a lot of people. Now, none of my trainers are particularly new. I always have one pair of good racing trainers. And that's another important thing from a mindset
Mm-hmm.
point of view. I always have my racing shoes, and I only use those maybe 3 times during the course of a training block. And I only use them when I want to feel fast. That's a special occasion. Other than that, I try to keep my plated shoes for the harder sessions. Any easy run, sometimes a steady run, sometimes as long as it's not one that I need to get particular goal paces or RPEs, I'll go with a non-plated shoe for as many as I can, for as many sessions as I can.
Okay, fair enough. We had another question. Somebody was struggling with shin splints.
I'll let you deal with that one.
So shin splints is a very common injury among runners, especially new runners and runners who have just increased their mileage. The muscles aren't used to working as hard as they were before. Obviously, they've just started running, so that's why it's so important when you're starting running to build up very slowly, just to build up your distance slowly. As with if you're training for a marathon, that you stick to the 10% rule and you don't increase too much too quickly, and you allow your body, your muscles, to strengthen gradually, not get hit with an overloading and causing pain. So what to do when you have shin splints is, first of all, you need to ice the area about 10 minutes a few times a day. And if it's really, really painful, you're going to have to rest. And runners hate to hear that word, but you're going to have to rest a little bit, because shin splints is one of those things that doesn't like being aggravated further. It's not something that's just going to go away too easily. So just ice it first of all. Just ease off a little bit on the running until until the pain subsides a little bit. Stretch your calf muscles, because tight calf muscles can lead to shin splints, and do a little bit of strengthening on the glutes and hamstrings, just to strengthen all the muscles around it to help prevent that overloading on the shin muscles. And also just be careful that you are keep an eye on your shoes, that the wear on your shoes, and keep an eye on the surface that you're running on. If you're running on really hard surfaces, or if you're switching from a hard surface to a soft surface, that can cause problems as well. So again, keeping all this when you're logging your runs, or you're keeping track of your daily runs, just writing down the surface you're running on, if you had a little niggle, because things like that help pinpoint what's causing the problem. So is it the surface you ran on? Is it the shoes you wore? Is it the type of terrain, or the type of, was it a hilly session? Was it a downhill session? These things can help pinpoint where the problem is coming from. So just keeping good log of your daily runs.
Okay, I've got a question for you with regards to that, and this
Okay.
might throw you a good curveball. What's worse? What aggravates shin splints worse? Frequency or duration? So long runs, or more time on your feet, or more often. So if I was to go out for 5 days but only short runs, is that better than 3 days but longer runs?
That's not an easy question. I think I would go with the shorter runs, but I would make sure that you're not on too hard of a surface. I would do a good bit of stretching beforehand, and afterwards do your dynamics warm-ups and your static stretching afterwards.
Great stuff. Okay. I mentioned something earlier, and this was another question that came in, and that revolves around, what is RPE, right? So you'll notice on nearly all of our plans, except for the really high level plans where we have specific targets for, for example, a sub 245 marathon, sub 3, sub 4, sub 330, 345. When you have a specific target, we can target certain sessions with pace. But most of the time, this is going to revolve around RPE, which is the rate of perceived exertion. So an RPE of 5 is usually a comfortable run. Anything under 5 is a different degree of comfort. Anything under, say, 3 could be almost uncomfortable. right? So uncomfortably slow. So that's the long, slow runs. We're looking to be under a 5 because that's a different training effect that we're looking to get. That's what we would say put on our plans LSR, long, slow run. That has a very low RPE. When we get into the intervals and hill reps and some of the tempo runs, our threshold runs could be a RPE of 7. The hill reps and intervals could be 8, 9, right? And when it comes to racing, say a 5K race, 10K race, you could be into the 10, right? Where you just couldn't put anything more into it.
So it kind of is connected to your rate of breathing.
It's very much so. It's exactly the same as heart rate training, right? But we just aren't looking at our heart rate zones. It's all about how you feel when you run. And when you can tap into how you feel on a run, you can really, really push yourself a little bit further rather than sitting looking at the watch. Okay, that's heart rate. That's a heart rate zone 4. I need to back off, or I have a little bit room to go. When you know how you're feeling and you can figure it out by how you're breathing and how you're uh, even performing, it becomes something that you can really be intuitive about, and that's where the magic happens as far as pushing yourself further and further. I personally love RPE as opposed to specific heart rate.
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
What about for beginner runners?
Mm-hmm. Beginner runners, RPE is going to be important, but for a beginner, nearly everything is going to feel like a 7 or an 8 or a 9, right? So that's why on our beginner plans, especially the Couch 5K plan, you'll see uh, the target will be called a gentle run. So it won't be fast, but it will still have a relatively high RPE, and that could be 7 or 8. And it's important to note that when you're logging your run, okay, that you choose an RPE that is accurate, because what you'll find is that as you increase your consistency and you're running more and more and for a longer period of time and you're increasing your distance, that RPE is going to feel easier. That pace, you'll be running a faster pace at a lower RPE. And that's a real sign of progress. For a competitive runner, what I like to track is where does a steady pace uh, fall from the beginning of a plan to the end of a plan. If the steady pace is coming down, getting faster and faster, and you feel like you can hold that steady pace, that's a really good sign of fitness.
But the rate is your perception of how the run.
Absolutely.
It's
It has
not something your watch is going to tell you, or
no.
it's not something anything's going to tell you other than you.
No, as a matter of fact, what an RPE 5 today could be this pace, and an RPE 5 tomorrow could be this pace. It could be completely different. A lot depends on stress levels at work, how you slept, how you've eaten, are you hydrated, um, are you coming down with a cold? There's so many things that come into how you feel on a run. And that's why it's so important to tap into how you're feeling as opposed to looking at the watch. The watch is great for maybe looking back and interrogating the stats, and I am a numbers nerd, as you know. Any of the athletes that I've coached will tell you I'm looking at the numbers in detail, and I find it extremely useful. But when you know yourself, how you feel on a run, and you know that at the beginning of my 12-week plan, a 10-minute per mile pace or a 6-minute per K pace is steady, and then come week 12, that same steady pace is a 9-minute mile or a 5:30 or whatever a 5:30 is or 5:40. That's a really good sign that that training is working and
You're improving.
you're improving. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Okay.
thanks so much for listening in. I hope you took something away from this. We've really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I could sit here and talk running all day. But do check out the Achieve Running Club. Like I say, there's a little bit for everybody in there, and our motto is believe and achieve. And if we all do that, this world will be a better place.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Nice
Okay.
talking to you.
Talk to you next week.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.